Hey everybody, this is Rustin Rose, aka Quasi Mojo of Metalholic Magazine and Mojo Radio, and on the air with me is the one and only Carlos Cavazo of Quiet, Riot, and Ratt. How are you doing today, my friend?
Pretty good, Rustin. How are you, man?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. Beautiful weather here where I'm at. You guys are in Florida today, right?
Yeah, we've been actually out with the Scorpions already for about almost 2 weeks. We've been doing shows of our own also on their days off.
How is it sort of going? Because you guys have been sort of doing a lot of club dates since the album came out, and this is sort of like the first arena tour that you're back on in a while. How does it feel to sort of go from the clubs back into the arenas?
Actually, it feels great. We've been doing some bigger places as well. Depends on where we are. We've been doing everything from clubs to theaters to some arenas. You know, we did a arena a while back with White Snake, and we're constantly doing different things. You know. Now,
Quiet Riot's Mental Health and Ratt's Out of the Cell had both broken like 1983. It was sort of like the biggest year for hard rock and metal in terms of iconic albums. So Quiet Riot then, Ratt now. Do you feel caught in a time warp these days?
It is a weird feeling. I never in my wildest dreams I ever think I'd be in the band, but I've known the guys throughout the years. Oddly enough, I knew Robin Crosby before I knew any of these guys. I used to hang out with him in the early 80s, and I used to hang out with Steven, too, and I never really met Warren until I think might have met him once in the 90s, but I vaguely remember, and so he was really the last person I met. And it seemed to fit really well, and I'm having a great time with these guys, and I'm a big part of the new record, and I couldn't be happier. I feel like a lucky guy, I really do.
Well, it feels like that whole mid-'80s metal vibe sort of returned. Infestation sounds like it picks up where Out of the Cellar left off. The Scorpions, Crocus, and a number of other bands from that era have managed to reconnect with that sound and feel and vibe they had back then.
Well, actually, that was our plan, and we'd all discussed that with our producer Elvis before we recorded this record, and we wanted to keep the same energy and excitement that Ratt had, and all the early bands, early '80s bands they had in those days. But we wanted to have a new good, fresh songs, and I think we, pretty much hit it out of the ballpark with the songs. I think they're all good in their own right. Everybody contributed, everybody brought in songs, and we just compiled a good record with all the songs that we had.
Right, well, and the album's first single, the one that they put out there, for Best of Me, it sounds like vintage Ratt, but interestingly enough, most people probably don't realize this, but I believe you're the one that brought it to the band, right?
Yeah, I did. It's just an idea that came to me after I'd been with the band for about a year, and Stephen had written the lyrics and the melodies and all that stuff. I just came up with the music. And, I just got lucky, I guess. I don't know. Weird.
It got into your system after a year. You started feeling that Ratt.
I guess so. Yeah. Well, I think me and Warren really work good together. I think our styles are very similar in many ways, and we're influenced by many of the same guitar players, and we're very much the same age. I'm a little older than he is, but it seems real comfortable. I seem like I fit right in really good, so I'm really happy.
Well, as a guitarist, what's it like standing across the stage now from Warren? I mean, you guys both came out of the same era and everything, but you were both in these monster bands at the same time. So what's it like now being across the stage from each other?
It's a great feeling. It really is. We can look at each other and we automatically know what we're thinking, and where to go musically and what we're going to do. We just kind of read each other really good. I think we've, lived pretty much similar lives over the last 25 years, It seems to work somehow.
Well, and then going in on the new record, obviously, in the past when it was Rob and Warren did most of the signature guitar work and everything. Now, you guys are both equally brilliant guitar players. Did you guys sort of do a 50-50 thing on this one? How does your stuff sort of fit in with what Warren does?
On the new record, it's probably a little bit more of him than me, and obviously on the live it's more of him because he played all those solos on the original, and why should I interpret what he did? It'd be stupid. So it's best that he does it, and as we do more and more of the new stuff, obviously I'll be playing more of these. But I take a lot of the parts that Robin did do, and also some of the songs we doubled the solo length, like Winkle Jr. There's one other one that we double the solo length, and we play it twice as long. He'll do half, I'll do half, and it's kind of cool, kind of interesting.
Now, I'm sure you played in projects before. Well, I know you have played in projects before where there was another guitarist, but you've gone from Quiet Riot, where that was really, you were the guitar player. Now you're in Ratt with not only another guitar player, but somebody who is of the same caliber as you in terms of ability. Did you have to adjust much in terms of how you handle things?
Not really. I just do exactly what I did with Quiet Riot, just another guitar player on the other side of the stage. And one good thing is if you break a string, there's somebody to keep playing. So that's a plus. I never had that luxury before. But I approach it basically the same way. I really do.
And sad month a couple months ago in May. Well, actually, it's been a sort of a sad year. We've had a lot of tragic deaths, but obviously Ronnie James Dio speaks more probably to you and I from our ear and everything. 1985, you worked on the Hearing Aid project, so obviously I'm assuming you got to spend a little bit of time with him. Do you have any memories of Ronnie?
Yeah, I always remember Ronnie just being a real gentleman. The time I remember most was working with him and he was producing that album. I remember he was really professional, and I really think he brought a whole new level to lead singers. When he came out, he just rewrote the whole book about lead singers. I mean, I think everybody was floored when he came out. It's just godly like voice, and he was just a real professional guy. He knew what he wanted, and he knew how to get out of the people and stuff. He knew how to produce. He was a real talented guy.
A couple of quick shots here. Best guitarist of all time in your mind?
Jimi Hendrix.
Any particular reason why he connects with you more so than others?
When I first heard him, he basically just turned the whole guitar world upside down, and the way he played, the way his sound was, the way he approached the guitar was like a wild man. And that just I'll never forget that. Today I think he's still one of the best.
Most underrated guitarist of all time?
Most underrated guitar player, probably Mick Mars, I think, or maybe C. DeVille. Those guys are both brilliant at what they do, and I think from our area anyway, underrated guitar players, I would say probably those guys, Mick or CeCe.
And interestingly enough that you said that, I was talking with Wednesday 13 and Murder Dolls at Mayhem the other day, and we talked about that because he came in and played a couple of tracks on their new album, and we talked about the fact that he's like the quietest member of the band, and of that genre of guitar players, he's the one that gets the least recognition for what he's done.
He's an amazing player. There couldn't be no other player with that band. No way.
If you could sit down and either jam or just talk with anybody for one evening, past, present, dead or alive, who would it be?
A musician?
Anybody.
Anybody? God, that's a good question. I would probably say a musician, Jimi Hendrix. Or forget that. John Lennon. If it wasn't for the Beatles, I wouldn't be in this business because I was just knocked out about the Beatles when my dad got us, me and my brother, their first couple of records, and kind of basically, lit the fire under my ass to want to play guitar.
Before we get out of here, is there anything that you'd like to say to the fans that are listening and all your fans out there worldwide?
Sure, yeah. We appreciate all our fans, and I know you're based out of Texas, and we love going to Texas. We've always been treated very well there, and we appreciate all our fans everywhere. And if you see us walk around the street, come up and say hi because we're your friend, and we want to be, just in touch with you guys and stuff, so.
Carlos Cavazo, Ratt, out on tour with Scorpions right now and doing some club dates. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us a little bit here, and we look forward to catching you out there on the road.
Thank you.